Hi, everybody. This is our Northwest Western Swing Society Hall of Fame interview with Carolyn and David Martin. Carolyn is inducted into Western Swing Hall of Fame today, and we're so excited.
I was pretty excited myself.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
I'm Shelley McNaughton. I sing with the Southern Comfort Band, and I am a big fan.
Well, I'm a big fan of yours.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
We have a mutual admiration society.
That's a good thing to have going on. So, some of the questions that we would like to know is who your influences have been musically, and how did you settle on Western Swing?
Well, it was a bit of a journey. Now, there was always music in the house when I was growing up. Neither of my parents played music, but they both loved music, especially my father, who's not with us anymore. But he was always playing the record player, and when they would have parties, they would hire musicians to come and play. And he loved to go out on the weekend and dance. He was a good dancer, and he loved to go hear live music. And he loved Tony Bennett. He loved Willie Nelson. He loved Julio Iglesias. He loved Rosemary Clooney and Frank Sinatra. Oh my gosh, he was a huge Frank Sinatra fan. So I heard those records, playing in the house when I was growing up. And then other places I would go, I was lucky enough to have a horse. And out at the stables where I kept my horse, they always had the radio station set to the country station. But the country radio station was not anything like it is today. They didn't play the same 30 songs over and over again. They played a wide variety of things. So that was the first place I heard, Bob Wills records, was on KRBC radio in Abilene. And then when I was older, there was a place in Abilene called the Ponderosa Ballroom, and a gentleman named L.C. Agnew ran the club and ran the band. I noticed, looking back at the past inductees to this Hall of Fame, that L.C. Agnew was inducted into the Northwest Western Swing Music Society Hall of Fame several years ago.
Wow,
and,
that's something I didn't even know.
He had a band called the Dixie Playboys, and they played Western Swing, 6 nights a week? 7 nights a week.
Wow.
In Abilene, Texas, live on stage, and he was the fiddle player. And so when I was old enough to go in there, I think at that time it was 18 was the legal age, and I got to go hear live Western Swing, and I fell in love with it. But a few years later, I became a professional musician, and I imagine you can relate to this. You start working as a musician, and you're so excited to sing and play that, when the phone rings, whatever kind of music they want, you'll go do the gig.
Oh,
it's
I
a gig.
do remember that.
It's a gig.
I do remember that.
So I started out doing a guitar violin duo with my best friend, and we played the popular songs of the day, James Taylor and Joni Mitchell and Judy Collins and things like that. And then later on, I met David, and we were in many bands together, including traditional country bands, or we didn't call it traditional country back then, but country bands. We were in disco bands, I will admit.
I would like to see that.
Oh yeah, I had the pink, polyester jumpsuit, the whole 9 yards. It was great. We were just out to make a living and to play, and then we moved to Nashville in 1985, and started playing music there. And I guess it was late 90s, and we still continued to travel a bit, but we kind of settled into Nashville, and we got our recording studio started, and we didn't play live as much as we used to by the time it got to the mid-1990s. And we were hearing about this band called the Time Jumpers around 1998, 1999, and so one night we decided to go hear them. They played it Monday nights at the Station Inn. And turned out a longtime friend of mine was in the band, and he asked me to come up and sit in that night. So I got up and sang Faded Love and some other song, and I just thought, wow, this is it. You know, this is what I want to do. You know, with fiddles and steel guitar, and I just was completely smitten. And not too long after that, I was asked to join that band, and started playing Western Swing every Monday night, once a week, and I expanded my repertoire. And then David and I started doing swing music together. And my time with the Time Jumpers ran its course, so about 2010, and I decided to concentrate fully on our swing band, and we wanted to travel with it and record our own albums and write some of our own songs, and it just kind of evolved from there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Overnight success.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
overnight.
Yeah.
So, I've listened to your Platter Full of Brownies CD several hundred times. I love it. And so the inspiration for that was Milton Brown.
Yeah. And we had been listening to a lot of Milton Brown. You know, he didn't record for very long, but he left us over 200 recordings.
Wow.
Because and David can elaborate on that. He's more of the authority on Milton Brown than I am.
I read the book and talked to his brother.
Yeah.
But Milton was the original singer in the Light Crust Doughboys with Bob Wills and Herman Arnspiger. And Milton quit in 1932 and started his own band with his brother Durwood and a bunch of other people. And at that point, they started recording. I think in 33 was the first the sessions that they had. And Milton died in 36. So between 33, 35, 36, that was when he recorded all that stuff.
Wow.
And they were just recording, the songs that they played. Milton wrote some, but he was on the Bluebird label, which is an RCA subsidiary, and then he ended up on Decca for the last bunch of sessions. And the complete recordings are available. And so we had them in the car, and we were up on tour in Canada for 10 days, and that was what was on my phone. So we were listening to Milton records, and finally just went, we need to do a tribute record. And we spent the rest of the tour listening again to all those songs and saying, we need to do this one, we don't need to do this one, maybe we should do this one.
We started making lists, and
by the time we came back across the border, we knew the songs we were going to do.
Oh, I've read on the liner notes, I think, on the album that it was more difficult than you thought to pick which songs you were going to do.
Oh, I know, because there's so many great ones. And there were a few songs that we really loved, but other swing bands have made them kind of their signature songs.
Right.
Like there's a Milton song called Beautiful, Beautiful Texas.
Yes.
And our friend Al Dressen does that with his band. It's kind of his signature song. So it's kind of, just out of respect, for him, we didn't choose that one. And we purposely chose songs that have been recorded a lot by other artists just to show that, how influential Milton was in developing the repertoire for Western swing, and that's still there today, and some of these songs were old songs when he recorded them, like Right or Wrong. Some people think of that as a George Strait song. Well, that song was an old song when Milton recorded it. It had been done on vaudeville by a man named Emmett Miller in the late 20s. And, The Waltz You Saved for Me, that's a 100-year-old song.
That's a gorgeous song.
And, but we wanted to have very familiar songs on there. For the most part. And then some that aren't so familiar. I think we may have been the second or third people to record Down by the Ohio.
Yeah, we did this. We did the search. Milton recorded it, and then we found the original artist that did it. It's on YouTube. And as close as we could tell, searching with the performing rights peoples, nobody else has done it since 1935. So,
and the Brownies theme song, you know, I don't know if anybody else has recorded that besides Milton, but it was too much fun.
You had to do it.
Had to do it.
Yeah.
Had to do it.
Oh, it's a wonderful CD.
You know, we wanted to capture that spirit of, you know, the Saturday night dance and everybody showing up and just kind of doing it on the fly, you know.
Oh, it was wonderful. You did. You did that. That's for sure. So, to change the subject a tiny little bit, I know that there's a lot of Western swing that's happening in the Nashville area now and in Tennessee. Yeah. And so, are you saying that it's grown considerably?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's several Western swing bands. John England and the Western Swingers.
Right. Or a fine band.
They play every Monday night. The Time Jumpers still play every Monday night. And, you know, they've got Vince Gill in the group now. Right. Our friend Paul Kramer has a band called Swing Street.
Mm-hmm. There's another group called the Music City Doughboys.
Oh, yeah. They've just really taken off. And wonderful group. And they've got a kind of a residency. It's a club. I think they play a couple of times a month.
Buddy Spiker still plays from time to time.
Yeah, one of the best fiddle players ever born. There's some really young people in their 20s, and that are putting together string bands and swing bands, and there's kind of a I don't know if I'd call it a backlash, you know, to the top 40 really commercial slick music, but people are kind of hungry for real music. You know,
I think you're exactly right.
People.
Yeah. I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, and you guys up here have, you know, a whole bunch of roots music going on.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
And the thing that is so great, Western swing is roots music. You know, it started in the 1930s. It used sources like, you know, besides the Dixieland bands of the time and the swing era, which happened, you know, by the mid 30s, but they were listening to blues and doing blues tunes. So the African American community, the German and the Czech communities in Texas, that's where all the polkas were coming from, and the Hispanic community, they were doing that music too. You know, Milton recorded Silito Lindo. He recorded, you know, a couple of that kind of songs because that's what they were playing at dances. So it's this wonderful amalgamation of all the ethnic music that was in Texas and Louisiana at the time. So it's cool.
It's like the melding pot.
Oh yeah,
of Americana.
Yeah.
And it's I know that for us here, so many of our members are I won't say that we're all senior, but we're adult. I mean, we're definitely established adults. We've been around, right?
Seasoned.
And it's encouraging. We're seasoned. Thank you. That's better. But it's encouraging to see that the young people are starting to pick up on it.
Yeah.
Because it would be a tragedy if this music went away.
Oh, sure.
And I don't think it is going away.
I don't think it is either.
And,
I don't think
so.
Because
I talk to really young people all the time. And I'm talking, you know, 10, 11, 12 years old. There's a guy in Texas, Dave Alexander. I don't know if he's been out here. He has a camp every year, a Western Swing camp. And
we do know Dave Alexander. We actually sponsor kids to go to Dave Alexander's camp.
And it's wonderful. He's doing wonderful work.
Yes.
And,
yes, and that's definitely
and Bobby
encouraging.
Flores, who's the fiddle player that worked with Ray Price. Bobby's got a camp. Fiddle camp.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think Joey McKenzie, who was the guitarist with the Quavy Sisters, Joey's been up here doing fiddle and swing stuff. I think he spent about 10 days up here, and, you know, he does them in Texas. He does them all around. So there is a new generation that's coming up going, hey, this is cool stuff.
This is fun. Yeah,
because there's a rule. Whatever your parents liked, you know, whatever your parents listened to as a kid, you don't like it. It's the way it works. You know, and so these kids, they don't have to worry about it because their grandparents liked it, but their parents didn't like it.
That's
So
true.
they're liking
That's
grandma's
true.
music, and so Western swing is
It's
not
fresh,
like
it's new.
it's fresh,
It
it's
is.
new,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and sometimes it makes their parents mad, which makes it even better.
And, they go back and listen to these old records, and yes, they're old records, but when those were recorded, those musicians were just kids.
They were just kids.
They were 19, 20 years old, and that energy is there.
Yes, it is. Yes,
and
it is.
and you relate to it.
Yeah, that's it's pretty amazing to me to hear about the people that are playing in the Northwest. At least we had the Oregon Valley Boys that were here that they were inducted in, and he said that the clubs that they're playing at are all 21-year-olds that are coming in
Oh, sure.
and that are getting turned on to Western music again. So
Yeah, and there's
that's encouraging.
somebody from up here, a group called the Jangles, sent us their CD to listen to a couple of weeks ago.
And we
great.
love the
Yeah.
Jangles.
And it's great.
Yeah.
I think
We
Paul
love
plays in
Paul.
that band.
Paul plays with that band. Lou's son-in-law is with that band.
Wonderful.
So we're hearing new stuff, and there's also, besides here, there's a guy named J.P. Sear over in Milwaukee. We've got a great swing band. Our friends in the Western Swing Authority up in the Ontario in the Toronto area. Well, Maryhill, somewhere up there.
Yeah.
It's somewhere up in Canada. There's swing bands up there now.
Oh yeah.
There's swing bands down in L.A. Big Sandy and the Fly-Right Boys are kind of a rockabilly / swing band thing.
Cowbop?
Cowbop, of course, or Lunatics, and it's
In the nicest way.
in the nicest way.
nicest
Bruce
way.
Foreman is a wonderful guitar player, and
So it's really growing.
That's good.
It
That's
is.
good. Well, I know that we thank you for your contribution to spreading the love of Western swing.
Yeah.
that's why we travel. We're missionaries.
You're missionaries in the Church of Western,
Western
Swing.
Swing.
Western Swing, exactly.
There you
good.
go.
There is a Church of Western Swing in Turkey, Texas, as a matter of fact.
I have heard of that.
I've
I've
not been
been
there.
there yet.
Yeah,
either.
we just think of it, as Mormons, except we don't ride the bicycle and wear the white shirts. But we're going out all across the country. Just
Spreading the
going-
word.
Spreading the word. Going, friends, we'd like to share with you this
Bringing the
wonderful
music
kind of music.
bringing the music to the people.
That's right.
Bringing the.
That's
We're
right.
gonna have to turn off his mic in just a minute. All right. Anyway,
So, what are the things that you would say are your biggest accomplishments?
oh gosh, I'm proud of all 6 of the CDs that we've done together. I could say my biggest accomplishment was finding Dave Martin.
Wow,
my,
you're a lucky guy.
to be my partner because I really am lucky to have someone in my life who's so encouraging and is always got my back.
Yeah.
And but the music that we've made together and going to events like this, getting an honor like being inducted into the Northwest Western Swing Music Society Hall of Fame. I mean, my gosh, that's huge. That's huge.
It's nice.
Yeah,
And we're so
yeah.
happy to have you.
Well, thank you. Very, very honored. And I'm just surprised that y'all even knew who I was. It just you go out and do what you do, and you hope that people will respond to it. And it's so gratifying when people do, because if we would do this, we would sit in our living room and do this. If we have.
I know that feeling.
If nobody would, wanted us to come out and play in public, we would sit in our living room and do it. And it's just when you're passionate about something, it's very gratifying to find other people that are passionate about it too. So I could say that my greatest accomplishment was following, my dream, following my dream. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's wonderful.
Got a bird that whistles, I got a bird that sings. Got a bird that whistles, I got a bird that sings. Hey, without Corina, life don't mean a doggone dirty thing. I love Corina, tell the world I do. I love Corina, tell the world I do. Just a little more loving makes your heart beat true.